I want you to imagine you go to the grocery store to make your weekly haul for Whole Foods and goods and diapers and toilet paper and water and beef and eggs. And all of a sudden, a lot of the items that you used to get with sometimes more difficulty than others, but you usually had access to, they're not there anymore. All of a sudden, ground beef, which used to be an average between $4 to $7 per pound, shoots up to $20 per pound. A box of 60 eggs, maybe it used to cost $10 to $12, now costs $30. You only have access to the fake food, food that makes you have low testosterone, makes you easier to leverage, easier to control, easier to manipulate. It's all that is financially available to you. All of a sudden, overnight, your dollar loses half of its spending power. 3/4. All of a sudden, it just doesn't have it anymore. All of a sudden, you have less and less and less autonomy and control over freedom of movement, actions, and even thought. Because people don't socialize in person anymore. We don't talk to each other anymore. We don't have actual social gatherings. We don't. Almost everything is a rental subscription service. Even just going and meeting people costs money today. You want to meet any group of people, you have to fit criteria in order to even interact with them. And if you don't fit those criteria, you are ostracized and you are socially crucified. We take for granted all of those things. I take them for granted. I just imagine that, a week from now, my finances, my portfolio are going to have the same value and they're not going to tank. I just imagine that it's all going to work out and that, I'm going to be able to go to the grocery store tomorrow and buy 3 pounds of ground beef and 60 eggs for a very reasonable price, right? I just keep imagining that's all going to work. But the truth is that things are kind of looking pretty scary right now. And maybe the war in Iran is justified. Maybe it's been a culmination of 40 years of proxy warfare between Iran and the US, and Iran just causing the US strifes and difficulty and problems by proxy and indirectly. Maybe this war is justified. Maybe it isn't. Maybe the US has done some really terrible things to Iran. Maybe that all could have been avoided. I don't know. But what I do know is that things are looking pretty bad. And if the US, and I'm referring to you, the viewer, the American, if you don't wake up and start to just evaluate your bare necessities, the things that you actually need, the things that you require to live and thrive, not just luxury, but necessities, if you don't actually take account of all that and control it on the local level, you might lose it all. And I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to cause you to be afraid, because fear is often a big distraction. It confuses you. It makes you have analysis paralysis where you can't make a logical decision. Okay, so I'm not trying to scare you, but these are realities that I think we need to be sober about and we need to consider as Americans. I have a lot of doubt in the U.S. government. I have a lot of doubt in our leaders. I have a lot of doubt in the military. I have a lot of doubt all over the place. But I'm still an American. I enlisted. I was in the military for 4.5 years. Over 5 if we're including my service in the reserves, like active reserves, monthly drill. And, I still don't regret being in. I still don't regret my identity in the military. I really don't. Will I go back? It's unlikely at this point, but not impossible. All I am thinking about is what makes sense. And for you, the viewer, I think it's important that you just find your necessities and you make yourself self sufficient on the local level, because I think times can get very difficult if we're not sober about it. These are just my thoughts.